Hey everybody, this is Doug Green and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and I'm very pleased to have with us today Raj Goodman Anand. Raj, thank you for joining us today.
Doug, thank you for having me on.
And Raj is with a company called ClimbCode. So Raj, let's dive right into that. What is ClimbCode?
So as it says at the bottom as a ticker, ClimbCode is an e-commerce platform for ready-to-use premium SEO content for the telco or telecom market. Now, let me break it down a little bit with a story. So many moons back, many years back, I used to work for a company in Europe. We used to sell to the telecom market. Now, we work with some of the largest telecom companies across in Europe, Latin America, and Asia. And we're looking to kind of grow our markets even further. And we're like, okay, what should we do? We upped the cold calls, we got more salespeople, but actually we could never really climb and get more customers. And so we're thinking what we can do in that space. And a big part of that was us experimenting. And then one fine day, after a bit of experimentation, we found that we were ranking really well for a few terms on Google. And the bulk of our inquiries came from that. That triggered the sort of signal in our heads saying, hey, you know what? There's a big opportunity in search engine optimization or SEO. How can we rank better in that space and tell more stories about our company and how we add value to the telecom market, and also in the same time also be able to brand ourselves as thought leaders in that particular service we provided to the telecom market. Basically, we're providing telecom assistance service. So if you have an iPad or your mobile phones are working, we will fix it for you online or in person. That was our service. So we did that and the sales just skyrocketed. And that was the beginning of the value created by SEO, search engine optimization. And we just started to do more content, but that was hard, it was challenging. To write content in-house with experts is, first of all the experts are busy selling and marketing. Who's going to write the content? So we started to find content from outside vendors, but there aren't many experts in telecom industry. So who do you buy it from? And we got it wrong multiple times. We finally got it done, but there wasn't a off-the-shelf solution for it. And so many years after looking at what was happening there, we built a team of telecom experts who understand the market really well, who understand their niche really well. And so we write unique content for SEO to help our customers rank really well in search engine for various keywords to not only place them, increase visibility, but also to brand them as experts in the industry. That's what ClimbCode is.
So, I think almost everybody, including people that are, they're not in the marketing effort, have heard of SEO at this point and understand, everyone's done a Google search. We all understand, I need to be found. So help me understand why specifically we need a service such as yours, as opposed to just, doing what we can, putting up the website, going on LinkedIn and so on.
Absolutely. Great question there, Doug. Thank you. A big part in SEO is that SEO is a gift that keeps giving. So once you invest into SEO, it can generate great leads. But the time it takes to do it, it's firstly, it's a long-term thing as for a short-term thing, and the effort required is colossal. A big part of that is writing unique content, things which are thought leadership pieces. And as I mentioned before in my early example, it's hard to find the people to do that content. In my company, if I'm a service provider, everyone's busy, and anybody who understands the market really well is busy selling, marketing, or in operations producing the product. So who writes the content? Well, the answer is because there's someone external to the company. And who do you trust to write it? Who understands the market really well? Trust me, in my search, over the last 15 years or so, to find a company like that is really hard. It's a costly affair, and if you get it wrong, it really impacts the brand. And so what we do is we help create that content at scale. Every content we produce is unique to the customer, so we never sell the same content again. And we make sure the content is created to help you brand based on something which is very thoughtful and meaningful for the end customer, so they learn something from the content, but also it's unique to you and it's got a unique placement for you. So when people search for keywords on search engines, they find your site where this content is going to be placed eventually. So we help you bring up your website higher in search engines.
All right. Now, if you're like me, especially on LinkedIn and some other places, you remember the taxi cabs used to be lined up around the hotel in the morning before Uber, right? So all these guys on LinkedIn seem to be lined up every morning to help you with SEO. Why is ClimbCode different from, a ton of other people running around saying, "Oh, I've got the solution"?
Absolutely. So SEO is an art and a science, actually, as it happens.
Mm,
And what's interesting is that there are different facets of SEO. There is technical SEO. So how do you launch your website, the speed of your website, for example. Then there's inbound links coming to your site. You need to get more people to link back to your site. And the third piece is the content itself. What we're doing with ClimbCode is to work on the third piece, which is a very important part of the jigsaw, which is to create that content so it's a unique perspective which you have. Typically, these taxi companies who are around the hotel are tackling the first two bits, the on-page SEO, so
right.
it loads faster, or they are talking about inbound links. No one talks about the content itself because it's expensive, it's time consuming, and it's difficult. That's where we come in. We've done this bit for so many years now, that we understand the market, and we collected together a team of experts who understand the market. And because we are producing content at scale, our prices are better. We understand the keywords required, so we place them in a way which is more meaningful. And we're learning about SEO all the time, because the SEO updates on Google, what's called core web vitals, change all the time. Every quarter, you have a new update coming from Google. Who's going to look into that? Won't be the company doing the production of the service. It's someone like us who will do that. So we work really hard to understand what works in content and what doesn't, so that third bit of SEO is covered for the company who's working to work with us.
And that explains that when we in our preparation today, you shared with me this with the United Kingdom spelling of optimized. Uh, but what is this? And because this may not be something, to your point, that a lot of people are actually doing or using right now.
Absolutely. So let me dive into the bits you see on the screen right now. The first bit is human edited. Why is that? Today, with the augmentation of AI, and by the way, I did a PhD in AI 20 years back when people didn't even know what AI stood for. It's about, I didn't finish the PhD, but I did a lot of research in it. Um, at that point, there was no real use of AI. Today, AI is used for content production. But that content, which you get from ChatGPT, for example, if you upload to your website, most likely Google will find that and de-index the website so it'll never be found again. It has to be human written, human edited. So there's an emotion there, there's a vision, a bias towards a feeling, which is that. So that human edited part is really important. Number two, SEO optimized. I mentioned earlier, SEO is an art and a science. How do we balance that in terms of what keywords to be written when in the article to get at the maximum opportunity to be seen by Google or Bing? That's the SEO optimized bit. The third bit is bulk content. it's important that the content is not just one or two. For it to rank, you need to have a strategy, which you often refer as a hub and spoke model. So, like a bicycle, you have the hub and the spokes coming out of the tires. The spoke's job is to kind of help the hub to be stronger. So all the content you write in the blog post is doing this one job, to take one particular page on your site and lift it up, that particular page ranks really well. And that's called hub and spoke model. It's a bit of a detailed concept, but I will not go into that on today. All I'm trying to say is that you require a ton of content to rank well, and that can be costly. So we try to make sure that we can produce that bulk content, but not have that sort of a content mill mindset, which is bulk and crap, looking at bulk and high quality. And that balance is always a bit challenging. And that's why we kind of exist as such as a company, to provide that bulk content, which is SEO optimized and human edited, to make sure that this is ranked well on search engines.
And then, what attracted me to doing this podcast was that we have so many companies walking through with regard to marketing that don't really have a background for our telecoms.
Absolutely. And the thing is, there's a ton of people who require this service. So you have the MSPs who are required to kind of get into big telco companies, into operators, and that's their main job in sales department. Carriers are looking to kind of get their end customers, and for that they need to do SEO. And then you have value-added resellers who are basically working on finding a way to get into both MSPs and carriers. So we work with all of these three departments, areas, sectors, as it were, and we help them with the content to resonate with their audience, because that's really important. If you don't resonate with the audience and don't help them, the content is really not what the paper was written on. So that's where we kind of come in, to understand the market and be able to write content which is really it resonates really well and does really well, because it actually adds value to the reader who consumes that content.
Raj, I really want to thank you for joining me today. The time goes by very quickly. We've only just scratched the surface, but where can we learn more about ClimbCode and what you do?
Well, you can find us on Google. So if you search ClimbCode, you'll find us, or climbcode.com, or LinkedIn, where obviously most B2B companies hang out today anyway. So yeah, that's where we are.
Well, I really hope that this is the first of many to help, especially the many Marcom people that really struggle with the specific needs of our industry. I've really enjoyed learning a little bit more about what you guys do, and I'll look forward to our next podcast.
Thank you, Doug, for the opportunity. Lovely to be here. Thank you for getting us on.